Morning, Pauline. Just a quick one this morning. Just a quick one this morning, Pauline. I'm just, Elbow, I want to address the fact that you're about to build millions of houses and have no way to power them, Pauline. No way to power them. Shut down all the coal power supplies. Won't dig the coal out of the ground that we own to put in our own coal energy power supplies. Want to use green energy all the time. Green energy from a West-backed partnership that owns all the mines that Africa's now complaining about. You're setting yourself up for a big failure, Pauline. Big failure, Pauline. I don't know how you can create a significant housing reform, but then have massive problems with the electricity grid, Pauline. The electricity grid. You're trying to increase the population of this country for what purpose, Pauline? What purpose, Pauline? More fodder for the banks? Albanese wants to help 40,000 people buy homes in Australia. Now, how much does a home cost in Australia, Pauline, and why? Now, just going to give the audience an example here, because how much did my parents buy their home for, Pauline? And how much is that same home today, Pauline? How much is that same home today, Pauline? You're asking these children to work their entire sweat labour lives just to own one brick in the home, not the actual home, Pauline. And Albanese wants to help 40,000 people own homes as an occupying government in this land, as the United Nations in this land. He wants to help 40,000 people new homes, Pauline, but shut down their electricity grids and then turn around and say, oh, no, we totally rule out nuclear. Totally rule it out, like he's the king master of everything here, Pauline. Like he's the king master of everything here. He hasn't asked the people what they wanted. No one's asked the people what they wanted, have they, Pauline? No, none of you have asked the people what they wanted, have you? You've all just assumed that you can go and run an economy the way you want to run it. And factions or corporations that bid for votes in that parliament, that the corporations want to run it, don't they, Pauline? Like One Nation Corporation wants to run it, bids to run it. No, but that's not your modus operandi, is it, Pauline? Your modus operandi was to use your corporation to keep the Liberal and the Labor corporations to account. The Liberal and the Labor corporations to account. Isn't that right, Pauline? So while everyone else is scrambling to buy a home and all their electricity grids are shutting down, and you use WEF partners to go mine mines in Africa and other countries for batteries, and you use China to go and construct all those batteries, and then you try and sell all those batteries to Australians and remove any other form of electricity supply that they may get from their own natural resources. It's kind of very obvious what you're doing, Pauline. They're not significant reforms at all, are they, Pauline? They're reversing the wealth of the country and further future funding our country, isn't it, Pauline? You're further handing our assets over to bankers so they can manage it all in a usufruct. Isn't that right, Pauline? But you didn't realise that there was a king on the table now. You didn't realise that the naked owner was home, and he's pointing out that you're defrauding Father's house, totally defrauding Father's house, committing crimes in Father's house. And we've had enough, Pauline. Like a house should cost about $70,000 to $140,000, Pauline, but they don't, do they? They cost $700,000 to $1.4 million. That's what you've driven this country into, haven't you, Pauline? By using your Reserve Bank currencies in our land, Pauline, and handing over privatisation to people that shouldn't have privatisation of our assets. Isn't that right, Pauline? And you want to create 40,000 new homes and no way to power them. No way to power them. You're going to offer all these people batteries from your African mineral resources when Africa doesn't want you in their land anymore, when Africa's banding together and saying to you that they don't want you in their land anymore. How are you going to build all these batteries, Alvo? How are you going to build all these batteries? Where are the minerals going to come from? And then second to that, how do you explain the carbon credit offset for mining a battery? Albo, I'd like you to explain the mining offset for turning to batteries as relative to combustion engine vehicles and coal power plants. I'd like you to explain the carbon offset of a vehicle that you expect everyone to drive, or batteries that you expect everyone in the home to have, or I don't know how you expect to provide this sort of power to industry if you're going to shut down three-phase power across the land. Albo, like, I don't understand how industry is supposed to run off a battery. Like, you can't run an oven off a battery, Albo. You can't run a generator off a battery, Albo. These are things that are very problematic in our future coming forward if you've already shut down, say, Ford and Holden. What's next to shut down, Albo? What's next to shut down? You're not providing the power to be able to create an economy. What's next to shut down, Albo? Why do you need 40,000 homes if no one's going to work anywhere? All the factories will shut down, Albo. You won't need the homes the way you're going. No one will drive because it's already proven that those that buy electric vehicles drive like half as much as those in normal vehicles. So the offset, the carbon credit offset in that there's doesn't add up, does it? You're actually destroying the planet by mining batteries and solar panels and vehicles that get driven less, and it takes longer to reach their. You dig metal out of the ground, you dig all these chemicals out of the ground, you make a vehicle. It takes a certain amount of carbon credits to do that, doesn't it, Albo? These are your words. We play your game because that's counting, ledgering for the WEF partners, Albo, ledgering for the WEF partners. So I just don't understand how you can justify all of your greeny crap, right? Because at the end of the day, mathematically, it don't add up. Mathematically, it just don't add up, Albo. Totally just doesn't add up. And you're conning the people because of the oligarchy. Isn't that right, Albo? It's just the same oil-type oligarchy. Instead of oil this time, you've got to go to mining mineral resources because it's all batteries. It's all batteries now, Albo. It's all solar panels now, Albo. Different minerals, right? Different types of mines. Different types of getting shit out of the ground, Albo. Same sorts of people that do it, just different technologies and different industries, right? Same sort of money men that are behind it all because these are mega industries, aren't they, Albo? Mega industries that we the people own, Albo. That we the people own, Albo. That you use in a usufruct, continuously stealing from the people and ripping off the people from foreign imperial power, Albo. And you expect to build 40,000 homes? No. You're going to deal with the problem that you've got in your country already in the fact that it costs $1.4 million to buy a home that should only cost $140,000, Albo. Yeah, that's the problem you're going to deal with in this country, right? You're going to stop this usufruct and you're going to stop munching our country away, thinking that you're a power machine that can just come along here and do these sorts of things and trick our people into believing that we need these things, but we don't actually need them, Albo. The truth of the matter is that you've driven the economy. How many homes do you own, Albo? How many homes do you own, Albo? How many homes do you own, Albo? Right? Why don't you sell one of your homes to one of those people for 140 grand, Albo? Why don't you do that? That would be a benefit to someone that's homeless, that could have afforded a home, Albo, in their own land, Albo. Right? You want to build 40,000 homes, but you want to shut down the power industry that will power all of these homes, Albo. I don't understand the concepts that come from your petty little head, Albo. Who's driving your mind, Albo? Is it WEF partners, Albo? Have you got a hand behind your back, Albo? Have you committed treason, Albo, by doing that, Albo? By letting investors run your country instead of the Crown? Is that an act of treason, Albo? Is that an act of treachery, Albo? Is that sabotage, Albo? These are all real questions, Pauline, that the people are going to start asking. These are all real questions that the people are awakening to. What happens when they're awake instead of woke, Pauline? What happens when they're awake instead of woke?